Let me offer my apologies for being late. I teach and had to leave class early to get here, and traffic is crazy, so no disrespect to any panelists. I'm very humbled to be here. Thank you, Anthony, for asking me. I co-sign almost everything I've heard here, and I think what I can add to this, which I think is interesting, is I think that something people don't think about often when we think about cultural appropriation. And connection that we make, because I feel like this is the perfect manifestation of the corrupting nature of capitalism, right? It turns us into consumers. We become empty shells, and we consume this, and it needs to be sanitized, as numerous panelists have said, right? It needs to be sanitized, and these, like Ali's lyrics said. In America, the people who have gone through this process the longest have been the people who have been considered white, right? So this very human need for culture ends up being filled through other people's culture because capitalism tells us that our culture is one of consumerism. And I think inherently as human beings, we understand that that's fatal. That's fatal. We cannot grow. We cannot destroy the earth. We cannot divide humanity by race, creed, religion, sexual orientation, all of these divisive things that capitalism thrives on. We can't do that, right? And so we're constantly in this violent state. White people are constantly in this violent state. And I think that leads to conversations of power and privilege, which my man said. And I think something that can help white folks, if you're struggling with this, something that can help bridge that gap, make that leap, right, is to think about what white really is. Because it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It's a social class created to justify slavery. That is what white is. And if you go all the way back, people who are not perceived as white, myself, my ethnicity, I'm Irish. Everybody's seen the river dance, yes? Well, why we don't use our hands is because the British would look through the bars to make sure we weren't dancing, right? So they couldn't see your feet, so they wouldn't think that you were dancing. Right? So culture is expressed all the time and is always oppressed by the dominant forces. And I think that that's an important thing to add to this conversation, is to start to expand our critique to our economic system, because I believe that that is the only way that we will end white supremacy and end all the oppressions that we see, truthfully. So I did write a piece for it, if that's okay. Is that okay? Yeah. So it's kind of strange to like just bust out into this. So I'm gonna try to make this as not as awkward as I feel. This is gonna be strange. Can I sit or should I stand? Stand. Oh shit, alright.
You gotta get in the middle.
In the middle even. Oh shit. Alright, here we go. So I just wrote this, so forgive me that I'm reading it. Okay? Hold on 1 second. Hold on, this for me, DJ. Never want to be turned.